Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This one will finally be another video about traditional art after a very long time. I know it has been about 2 months since I last did some marker art or something along those lines, but I hated my old camera and how the old video looked like. So now things got improved and I can do more traditional art as well. Anyway, let's get to the video. So the last traditional drawing I did was my Inari for the One Color Challenge, which is a series I need to complete too. I will see which color to do next. In the past few days I've drawn a little more traditionally. This is my Ayato. I changed his hairstyle a little from what he had. This one is a drawing of him for some sort of album cover since he's a singer. Might use it for the next video. Then I started designing a new OC that I will make a reference for in the future. My first character with an eye patch, to be honest. I'm quite surprised it's the first time I use this accessory. He is meant to be a wizard who has a contract with a demon of some sort, though he doesn't have a name nor a nationality yet. We will see in the future. I did also draw my OC Alfred shirtless, mostly to study some anatomy, but also to decide where to place his cards too. Totally not an excuse to look at Mubas and abs. Anyway, we finally got to the protagonist of this video, which is Scaramouche or Wanderer, however you wanna call him. For the inking I will be using my Ohuhu fineliners. At first I did want to try and use a Coliro fineliner instead. I have the Ohuhu ones I bought some time ago with the fine tip and the brush pen tip, but maybe that is going to be for another day. One thing that I keep forgetting to buy is a knitted eraser. This one has become quite sticky and also is very darker than it used to be in the past. Hopefully I will remember next time I place an order. Whenever I need to start with the lining process, I tend to hesitate at first. Since I don't have the possibility to undo what I've done, unlike digital art, you can't even imagine how many times I've looked around for my keyboard to hit Ctrl S to save the drawing. Anyways, this was an idea I've had in my mind for quite some time for this one Genshin character. After I found this picture on Pinterest, which I use as reference, it's from a few months ago, but I kept postponing or forgetting about it all this time. I did add the butterfly, which should be a blue morpho, because it symbolizes rebirth and transformation. So I thought it could be fitting for this character too, since he went through quite some transformation and, let's say, rebirth himself. My head at times popping out. I kept forgetting could end up in front of the frame that way. I should try and find a better way to record being less troublesome for my posture. But anyway, I've noticed how many fan arts I've ended up drawing lately. Usually I will draw a fan art every now and then, perhaps even every few months, or never at all for a whole year. Yet the last few videos were filled with fan arts instead, so I do really want to make more art about my OCs too instead. Also, all the fan arts I'm drawing are from Genshin, but it's the thing I'm more into, to be honest, as of now. Even though in the future I want to try and draw Robin from Star Rail, even though it's still Hoyoverse. And even lighter Arumasa from ZZZ, Gentless Zone Zero. I say this slowly because it's quite the tongue twister for me. And I really love Hoyoverse designs. I really do love them. Even if they are filled with details, they are pretty. I can't deny that. Even though drawing them is quite a pain most of the time. Manga, there's nothing that I really got into to lately. At least nothing that makes me want to draw a fan art of it. Also, as of manga, I mostly read BL. I just like that most of the time. Though I also follow One Punch Man because I swear is my favorite manga. Also because of the artist, because his art is magnificent. It's beautiful. I love how he draws everything from anatomy to even coloring. It's perfect. To me, it's perfection. And his style for me is very beautiful. At least that's something personal, obviously. I've watched some videos of Yusuke Murata drawing, and it was so pleasing to watch from start to finish, and he does everything like it's nothing. He makes it look like it's the easiest thing in the world. But anyway, I digress as usual, even though I have a script today. But I still want to talk about whatever I want. But as I was saying about manga and anime related fan art, I still don't have anything that makes me want to draw something for it. But I will see in the future if this changes or something. And as we speak, we have gotten to the coloring part. It took me some time to find the right colors to fit this character, and also the right colors for the flowers and the butterflies as well, making sure everything will stick out nicely. I didn't remember that the paper of my sketchbook was such a pain when it was about coloring with markers, and that the color would love to go over the line art, which is quite a pain. Luckily, I've ordered a new one, and actually I've already gotten it, though I first want to finish this old one. Anyway, as usual, I first started from the skin and adding the shadow first. Using two different colors, then I took the lighter one to apply on every part that will be hit by the light source. Then I took a darker pinkish red color to add more dark shadows, mostly the ones casted by something, such as under the chin or hair strands and stuff like that. Then I added some light purple color to recreate some ambient lighting too. For the eyes, I tried something new and left the lashes uncolored during the line art, as I wanted to color them with the markers. And how it turned out is quite lovely, in my opinion. I really like this new method, which I will forget soon enough. For the hair, other than his colors, I've also added some pale yellow to make it more dynamic to the eye. Lately, I'm trying experimenting more with colors, avoiding to do the same mechanical things that I used to do in the past, and added more different color to the overall drawing, both digitally and traditionally. Like, for example, in digital art, I finish with adding some airbrushed dark blue on the part that is more in the shadow, while I add a pale or darker orange depending on the colors, using an overlay layer on the part that is hit by the light, which gives the whole thing more depth in my opinion. I will try and complete my actual sketchbook within the next week or so. I will see what I can do so I can move to the new one soon enough, as that got thicker pages and it feels better for markers. After all, even if it's made for mixed media, it's from Ohuhu and they make mostly markers, and I expect it to be quite perfect for coloring with them. I will have to do a lot of practice anyway for anatomy, and also I want to practice more hands, since at times I think I've understood how the whole simplifying forms thingy for the hands works. Then after drawing the hands a few times, I noticed that I ended up forgetting everything. That is quite annoying. But anyway, I've written down a few ideas for the next videos I want to do. I obviously have to draw a few designs for my OCs, such as Michael, which is an angel, and also the OC you saw earlier, as he needs a full design too. But I also want to create a few OCs for Genshin as well, just for fun, for the fancies. I might make one for Sumeru and then one for Natlan, since these are my two favorite regions so far. Obviously Sumeru being my top favorite. I have an idea for a Capitano fan art as well. So sad, but that is going to take me a long time, and I don't know if I want to do it digitally or traditionally, or maybe even both, like sketching the whole thing digitally and then printing it and then doing the line art and everything else digitally. I will see what I can do. Then I also want to try and making a VTuber model, which will require several videos for sure, and the first will surely be the making of the cat model, which will take me so much time. I'm scared. As for the rigging, I will have some limitations, since I don't like paying a subscription for something that I might not be using to its full potential just yet. And also is quite expensive, and I'm still wishing to find commissioner. That is something I'd like to go back to. Another video I want to make is redrawing my Naruto OCs. Yep, I lived in that era, and the fandom, just like any other, could be so toxic, because people had to attack and comment on the other people OC, because according to them there are some rules and yada yada. How many times I've read the word Marisu around. I don't know why they needed to scream that left and right. It's not like these are so-called Marisu OCs were hurting them anyway, and also the pairing wars were something else. And people call just the Genshin fandom toxic. They seem not to have seen the same thing happening in every single fandom. Actually, to be fair, I did that too at a certain point in my life. Obviously not at the person face, because that's something that I can't really do, but because I thought that it was my only way to fit in, perhaps, even though I never really cared at all about such matters, since it's just a damn drawing, so there's not really a problem in my opinion. But people always felt the need to control how things have to work in every setting, and it's so annoying for me. If you don't like something, just look away without spreading hate. But anyway, I digress, and I will just stop and drop the subject, because it really irks me deeply, and we want to be calm and zen here. For another video, I'd like to try and use my pencils, the colored ones. I have both Prismacolors, which I've used for some realism drawings that I will perhaps show in the future, and also the Faber-Castell Polychromos that I barely use instead, and I really should try using them more. Also, I'd love to buy watercolors once again. I used to have them, but then I've given mine to my boyfriend's older kid, since she needed them for school. Another medium I'd want to try is wash, and I have a Himi set, though I have the feeling it's quite dry, since I own it since a long time ago. And for this I'd need to set my desk a bit differently, because there's not really a lot of room for that, and I have bought the bigger set for him. I will see, because I really need to be comfortable to use that, or I will get overwhelmed. Now that I think about it, I could also use the gouache paintings as watercolors as well, because they can be watered down and they can work pretty fine. I should see what I can do. The good thing about gouache is that it can be quite covering, can be reactivated with water, and also can be both transparent and also thick. So it's perfect. But anyway, here I finished shading the drawing, and after some thinking I decided to add a black background, which was the best idea as it made the whole theme really pop out. At first I thought that maybe I could add some gradient, but then it could have been way too overwhelming perhaps instead, so I opted for a plain black background. At times simpler is better. Also with the black background I could hide some mistakes I've made, and mostly the colors going over the border as well. The only problem with black is that I've noticed that after some time it starts yellowing the pages that it's in contact with, both front and back from the ghosting. So I will need to apply something protecting at least the back one. I don't know why, but only the black ink has this kind of problem in my markers. After the background was finished, I took my Sakura Jelly Roll pen in white and cleaned a bit around the butterfly, and then also added a few more details, as well as adding the shine in the eyes, well, eye, and a white border all around the character too, to make him pop out more. Only now, though, I've noticed that I didn't add the reflection properly on the golden detail on Wanderer neck piece, or even the butterfly wings doesn't really have the white specks on the right wing. Oh well, at least I'm glad that my gel pen worked on first try without making me go crazy. I have a love-hate relationship with this pen. After all that, I took my metallic watercolors that are my most precious purchase since I love them so much. I've decided to apply the golden to the cracks on Wanderer's face. In Asian cultures, they use gold to fix broken vases and the lights. And it's a way to embrace flaws and imperfections, and it helps creating a stronger and even more beautiful piece of art. And it actually works pretty well as a theme for this character, in my opinion. Also, it just looks pretty. Just that. I needed an excuse to use these watercolors once again. I swear I need to find more excuses to use these colors because they are so pretty. And after I've gotten them, I didn't really use them often enough. I really need to use them more. Yep. Anyway, after I was done with all the golden lines, then I've signed the piece and actually almost forgot in which year we are now, which is pretty normal since whenever the year changes, we all forget and end up putting the previous year anyway out of habit. Here you can see how much it shines when I move the page. I love it. And now that the drawing is finally complete, I really love the final result of this piece. And I'm glad I did end up working on this idea finally. And with this, as usual, I thank you for sticking with me. Leave a like and subscribe since it will help me with the algorithm. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!